Hail to the new chief. How President Donald Trump could change Arizona then.
I gave voice to all the fantastic things you're doing.
Tim Jeffries is speaking out. He was fired as director of the state's largest agency amid a mushrooming scandal, while he claims it was a political hit job. All that and more right now on Sunday Square Off. We are waking up to day 3 of the Donald Trump administration after an unprecedented inauguration speech, historic protests against Trump, and a fight with the White House media. Who knows what today will bring? One thing we do know, President Trump and the Republican Congress will have a big impact on Arizona and our politics. 12 News is tracking what the president, I get used to that, delivers on these top campaign promises over his first 100 days. There's build the wall and make Mexico pay for it, repeal and replace Obamacare, bring jobs back by tearing up trade deals, rebuild the nation's infrastructure, and eliminate former President Obama's executive orders. All these promises could have a major impact on Arizona. Joining us live this morning to discuss all that and more, Republican State Senator Debbie Lesko of Peoria.
Good morning.
And Chris Hurstum, a political analyst who has served at every level of state government.
Good morning.
I want to talk to the news of the day just yesterday, that Sean Spicer news conference. Chris, would you call that a good start?
No, it was not. I felt frankly sorry a little bit for Sean Spicer, the new mad dog, I guess, press secretary, because it's very obvious that Donald Trump wanted to swing away at the media, and he put together a statement very quickly and said, go out there and crunch them. And it was the guy's first interaction with the press officially, and he has to go out there and growl at them and then take no questions whatsoever. And they were screaming questions at him as he left. If this is the way it's going to go for 4 years, ouch.
There's signs today they're backing away from that. Kellyanne Conway and Meet the Press sort of backed away from that. Let's move on, though, to Arizona. Obamacare seems to be the elephant in the room, no pun intended. How big a hit could Arizona take if Donald Trump repeals Obamacare and Congress?
It depends, Bram, on what he replaces it with. So I know the governor's office has been working with the Congress to try to guide them. We don't want a big hit here in Arizona. So the budget people have said that if we repeal Obamacare and don't replace it with something that's good for Arizona, we could have a budget impact of $100 million to $1.4 billion. $1.4 million.
Billion?
Yeah. No, I think it's, yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Billion.
Billion.
Yes.
Stunning, isn't it? It's hard to...
And so we have to make sure that the Trump administration knows the fiscal impact on the states. And so I trust that our congressmen, good people that serve us in Arizona, and our U.S. senators are going to relay that to the Trump administration. But for all those people out there that really didn't like Obamacare, there's many small businesses that felt they were trapped in having to provide different types of insurance or getting penalties. This is what they wanted. They wanted to repeal Obamacare, and so we're just going to have to work it through and see what happens.
And the governor's letter to Congress, to House Majority Leader McCarthy, 15 pages long. Here's what we'd like you to do or not do. He says, please hold off for 2 or 3 years. Don't remove the subsidy.
That's because the governor and his outstanding access director, Tom Betlock, they get it. They understand the massive repercussions budget-wise, as our appropriations chair gets it as well. And we are very fortunate because we have an excellent Medicaid system, and the governor is fully supportive of it. And I think the best news is that the governor and Tom Betlock, the director of Access, were in Washington this week. Betlock has been back to Washington, I think, 3 times. They crave his knowledge and his experience, and we definitely are providing input on, and basically saying, please don't gut the expansion of access here in Arizona.
I should mention there's 700,000 people insured by Access, the Medicaid program, and Obamacare. Their insurance could be at stake. Do you think it will be saved, yes or no?
You know, I think time is going to tell, and so we're just going to have to work this through and make sure that myself, I'm going to have to tell our senators and our congressmen what will help Arizona, and I think the governor's already done that, as Chris has said.
But there are just a lot of scenarios in place, a lot of things.
I don't see how we're going to avoid it not being pared back, you know, and some people getting hurt, but it's just as little damage as possible, I think, is what the governor and Director Betlock are trying to come up with.
Donald Trump, moving on immigration, promised to do something on day one about illegal immigration. He has not. It's day 3. Who knows what today will bring, as I said earlier. What's the first thing he should do on immigration?
Well, I think he needs to follow through with his promise to secure the border. That's what the people of America want. And I think that that will help Arizona. And the reason it will help Arizona is because there's a lot of crime related to human smuggling and drug smuggling. And I went down to visit the ranchers down by the border, and they're really being impacted. So if there's some way that we actually can secure the border, I think that's a good thing.
Of course, I am in a different mode. I think the first thing that President Trump should do is announce that he's not going to deport dreamers. Even if he alters DACA, the executive action of President Obama, he could still come out and say, we're not going to send dreamers home. That would be very reassuring, particularly here in Arizona, but I don't know whether he's going to do it.
And they're waiting and watching to see what happens. I got to cut you off.